Hello again, and welcome back. If you don't know what time it is, clearly you are not subscribed. For those of you who are subscribed, you obviously know it is that time. Today's topic is going to be very much a dad time conversation. Man, I'm going to start with a couple of anecdotes, and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up. So, growing up as a kid, I was a middle child. I had two sisters, one younger, one older, and I'm piggybacking off of the Frank story. So just bear with me, I'll get there. Whenever like a prom date or somebody tried to come and pick my sister up and take her out on a date or whatever, either one of them, right? My dad would stand at the front door with his arms crossed, and I don't know where he got it. I don't know. I don't want to know where he got it, but he had a scar across his eyebrow that kind of like linked into that vein in the middle of his forehead. And when he furrowed his eyebrow, that scar almost throbbed. Like, it was terrifying. I can still see it. I know exactly what it is, and it terrifies me, even though I'm his son and I'm not, some 16-year-old punk trying to pick up his daughter. So, it was terrifying, and that was his aggressive face, right? And the point of this message is really RAF, which is resting aggressive face. You might have heard of RBF, which is resting bitch face. I'm not going to say my wife has it, but I certainly have RAF, resting aggressive face. Man, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. Again, RAF, resting aggressive face. So that's anecdote number one, was my dad standing at the door with his arms crossed and just being the meanest and baddest looking mother you've ever seen in your entire life. And I have been on the receiving end of that, of other fathers looking at me the same way. So I understand it, and I'm sure a lot of you out there do. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are actually fathers of daughters who have that exact same face. That is the prelude into our our next anecdote, which is my wife and I this past weekend. We went on a trip. It was her birthday weekend. I'm a man of faith, and I know my language would say otherwise, but I believe in God. Anyhow, I'm a Christian man, and we wanted to go see this church, and we wanted to go be there in person, and it was fantastic. It was awesome. However, when we first got there, we were made to stand in line. No big deal. All right, stand in line, wait, and then you go in, right? So the whole time, there's a greeting community that's coming up this side, right? Here's a wall. We're standing in line against the wall. My wife is here. I'm here. Here comes the greeting party. And the entire time, and it took me probably about 10, 15 minutes to recognize what was going on, but the greeting party would talk to the people in front of us and the people behind us. And the whole time, my wife is tugging on my shirt, like, calm down. I'm like, what do you mean, calm down? What do you mean, calm down? So I have RAF, which is resting aggressive face. And my resting aggressive face pretty much looks like this. I'm looking, my eyebrows are furrowed. I'm not saying anything. I'm not smiling. I'm not greeting anyone. I'm not letting anyone greet me. I'm not anything like that. There was zero threat whatsoever. And that was my default and is my default. I've been in a couple of situations where I've had to be aggressive, and I've had to look aggressive, and I've also been in situations where I've been completely humbled, and I'm not afraid or ashamed to say that. So what ended up happening was my wife kept tugging at my shoulder and just saying, like, calm down. I'm like, I am calm. I'm 100% calm. What are you talking about? I'm not being defensive. I don't look pissed off. I don't look angry. Calm down, calm down. What are you talking about? Why? I don't understand why these people are literally skipping over us to talk to other people. And then it's like, you look pissed off. What do you mean I look pissed off? I'm not pissed off. You look pissed off. Okay. And at that point in time, I like almost had to like grab my eyebrows and just like calm down, right? Funny story. When I'm at work, I'm the happiest, most friendly person you've ever met in your entire life. Not because I'm paid to be, but because I want to be. When I'm in a comfortable scenario, I am the happiest, most approachable person you've ever met in your entire life. I really am. But when I'm uncomfortable and I don't know what's going on and I'm in a different place and I don't know any of the people around me, man, this is my default. This is my default, 100%. And it took us, like I said, 15, 20 minutes for me to actually like kind of just, okay, recognize that there is not a threat. And so after I calmed down, my wife and I actually swapped positions. Again, this is the wall. My wife's here. She moved to the outside. I moved to the inside. And she pretty much just told me not to look at anybody. And after that, people started coming up and talking to us. Lo and behold, there's not this aggressive looking military trained fucking German Shepherd staring down anybody that came near us and was foaming at the mouth ready to attack, right? That's how the average person would look at me with this kind of face. So my wife told me to calm down. We swapped spots and people started talking to us and we were able to have normal conversation, nice, calm, cool, and collected. You know what I mean? Like, that's phenomenal. That's awesome. That's fantastic. And I kind of wanted to talk on the fact that are there scenarios and are there situations where you should be kind of, seedy part of town, you don't know what's going on, there's crime ridden, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, obviously you should kind of look a little bit aggressive so as not to be confronted by someone who is aggressive. But in that scenario, I didn't need to be, and I didn't want to be. And the point that I want to make is that when I was having that face, my wife did not have as good a time as she could have, or as she should have, rather. So you know what I mean? Like, I just want you guys to be cognizant and aware of the other person's experience. Like I said, yeah, you don't want that person to feel like they're pinned up against a wall with like a growling, snarling Rottweiler or growling, snarling German Shepherd protecting them all the time. They don't want that experience. I didn't want that experience. I don't want that experience for her. But that's more or less what I was presenting. That's more or less what I was exuding. That's more or less what people, your average Joe Blow coming up to me saw was just, oh man, I don't know why that guy's pissed off, but I certainly don't want to talk to him. And then that detracts from her experience, which I was trying to facilitate a positive experience. Anyhow, the point that I'm really, really, really trying to make is recognize when there are threats. Yeah, look aggressive. Be aggressive. Frank didn't care what I looked like because he's not a part of socioeconomic, whatever. He does not recognize what human beings look like when they're pissed off versus what they look like when they need to have their nuts bit off, right? So Frank didn't care. Frank couldn't care less. I tried to look angry. I tried hollering. I tried big, deep voice. All this, that, and the other, trying to be big and yada, yada, yada. Frank didn't care. Frank was coming at me because he was default aggressive. To quote Jocko Willink, he was aggressive. And that was an actual threat. Not a serious threat, but a threat nonetheless. While we were standing in line for a church, there was no threat at all in any way, shape, and or form. But I still kind of dealt with it almost the same way. Like the way my face looked was, come at me, bro. Keep that in mind. The person standing next to you that you want to protect, the person standing next to you that you want to keep safe, the person standing next to you is probably kind of feeling that same energy, like that same, like, I'm uncomfortable. The energy that you give, listen, I'm not some hippy dippy bullshit, kind of guy, but people do give off energy. You know what I mean? Like, when I meet an unfriendly dog, I know that dog is unfriendly before it even snarls or growls or shows its teeth, anything. I know that right off the hop. I know that a person does not want to talk to me before I even say, "Hey, how you doing?" I know that. I can see it. It's their body language. And when you put off that body language of "leave me the hell alone," that affects the person standing next to you. And it affects the person trying to say, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Welcome." Anyhow, that's all I got for you guys today. I know this is 100% off the wall and kind of a lot more serious of a conversation, but this would not be dad time if I didn't have dad time. So like it if you want to, comment. I will respond back. You guys tell me about your own personal experiences with having to be default aggressive, with having to look like someone that's not going to mess with the person standing next to you, and then also tell me a scenario where you've looked like that when you didn't need to, like standing in line at Walmart and you guys are trying to buy balloons for a birthday party. Been there, done that. So anyhow, like I said, like it, comment if you want to. I will respond back. And if you haven't subscribed, if you want dad time, this is it. Subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Fuck Frank.